Hey Bert, so the coop behind me started about 3 months ago, I believe. There's just so many projects going on here at the house that it's kind of hard to finish anything. But we're going to make an effort, right? So this coop, we're going to go back through and I'm going to do some retrospective videos on it to this point. But the thing that I'm working on today is collecting chicken poop. So I have one roost in here. I know a lot of people are going to say you need to have more than one roost in your coop. No, you don't. I've had chickens most of my life. Chickens really don't care. As long as it's somewhere with some altitude where they can get up and feel comfortable and safe at night, I'm totally cool with it. At nighttime, Bert, the rooster, will go in the house, he'll call the hens in, and they make a beeline for that roost. They can't wait to get up there. So what I did over the last couple of months was basically a study on how they poop from the roost. I wanted to see if there was a pattern. And there is a pattern. So typically they get on the roost and they face towards the windows. The way the coop is laid out and the way it's built, I built it in a way so I could face it this way, or I can pick it up and move it around to the other side of the building and face that way. So either one of these two positions, the door for them is always facing some southerly sun direction because it's solar powered. The battery in it's solar powered, charging aspect of it. And I wanted to be able to get good natural light through the windows into the coop. And I wanted my clean out door, I have a clean out door in the coop, be able to get to that super easy. And my entry door to be, everything to be positioned in a way that makes sense for them. And to make cleaning it and all the maintenance and all that stuff easier for us. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to basically look at what we got going on here, go look through some of my junk, and try to pull together some pieces and parts to build a mechanism, something that's real easy and a way to basically collect their poop, right? So it doesn't have a bunch of hay in it and whatever else, and I can get it out of there and bump up my sanitary situation for them, the bio, you know, all that, and supercharge or compost. So I'm gonna grab the camera and we're gonna do a walkthrough. So you can see, here's where we got the roost. So here's the roost. It's nothing special. It's a 2x4. It gives them plenty of surface area to get nice and cozy at night. Nothing too flimsy. This is not treated lumber, so I don't have to worry about anything like that affecting them. And as you can see, all their poop's pretty much lined up against this wall. I'm gonna clean the coop really well, and we're gonna pull out some parts and get busy. Yep. It's a little bit hot here. The GoPro overheated. I saw there was an update for the firmware when I ran it, so maybe that'll help. It is really hot today. Hotter than I actually perceived that it was. The chicken coop here is almost clean. Now, if you've watched this far, I'm sure you might have a lot of opinions about some things you've seen, so this is a work in progress. And I'm going to do a video specifically on the design of this coop. Unfortunately, I just haven't had the time or the funds to really knock it out quickly. But anyway, one of the design elements I did want to talk about was the floor. So my initial thinking was to put something down that's easy to clean. So I already had this. It was some linoleum, 12 inch by 12 inch vinyl stick-on flooring. I hate that stuff, which is why it was actually in boxes in the garage when we bought this house a year and a half ago. So I was like, well, I'm gonna put it in the floor in the coop because it'll be easy to clean. And I was on the fence. I've seen where a lot of people use sand. Now, in my experience, it's always been straw or hay from the field or something like that. One thing I did know was that, with hay or anything that's a tubular, the stalk is a tubular from, whatever grass it is, insects love places like that. And so, particularly if they get moist, you can get fleas and mites and stuff like that. So I didn't want to use a lot of hay, but that ended up being the only thing I could really find locally. So I used hay. I'm actually going to do an experiment here. So I'm not going to put anything down on the floor. I'm going to leave it bare linoleum and see how the chickens work with it. I have a feeling they're going to hate it. So I'll know within 12 hours if this is a really bad idea. I'm already pretty sure it's a terrible idea. But I'm going to try it anyway. But the next thing we're going to do, let me flip the camera around here. But anyway, the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to devise something to mount underneath this roost to capture their poop while they're roosting at night. And I'm going to have that stud and this stud to contend with. But oh, and I have a broken bolt. Oh, it actually pulled through. That was a countersunk hole, at least I thought it was. Anyway, I guess that's going to need a washer, so I may as well do these things. Same thing on the other side. Yeah, I mean, this was a countersunk. Looks like the countersunk just ripped through. That's interesting. Anyway, so I'm going to repair that and start digging through some junk. Alright, so this is what we're doing. This is one of my finest mechanical drawings. So basically what I'm going to do, and there's no way for me to even try to, let's just pretend that didn't happen. So what I'm going to do is, the roost is basically horizontal for the most part. What I'm going to do is on the chicken door, on their door side, I'm going to mount a piece of lumber. And I'm going to come towards the door at a fairly shallow angle. I don't know, 30 degrees, 25 degrees, somewhere in there. Nothing too crazy. And I'm going to I have an idea for using PVC. I've got two different sizes here. I'm going to use the larger size to make clips and the smaller size to secure the plastic. So I've got some heavy duty plastic here, filthy 2x4, two different sizes of PVC, some hardware. I got some 3-inch screws, some 1 5/8, some T50 staples for the staple gun. And before anybody says anything, you can already see it in the comments. Ryobi, I've had this longer than most of you been alive. Still works great. Probably this one too. It's been used as a hammer and all kinds of other stuff, so I like my Ryobi. Anyway, so I'm going to get started. First thing I'm going to do is an experiment to see if this clip idea is going to work. So if that works, cool. If not, I'll have to reinvent the wheel. Reinvent the clip. Alright, first thing to see. Probably needs to be about like that. Is this going to work? Works pretty good. I like that. Okay. So far so good. That's going to work just fine. Alright, so the next step is going to be drilling these and countersinking them for screws so we'll have clearance. So we'll see if we can achieve that. Alright, so because this is PVC, it is somewhat brittle, so we don't want to put a whole lot of PSI on it with screws because it will shatter, crack, etc. So I have a drill in the drill, or drill bit in the drill, that is considerably larger than the diameter of the screw I'm going to be using. Oh, I don't want to have any contact, really. That's not necessary there. And a lot of stuff I have is still in storage, so I can't find my countersinks. But what I could find was some arc center drills. These are, you don't have to have these. I mean, you could use a drill bit. You want to use a drill bit that's larger than the diameter of the head you're trying to countersink if you don't have a countersink. But if you don't have a countersink, get yourself a countersink. It comes in handy quite a bit. But anyway, this is a 60-degree plane center drill for machining. I'm a machinist in a former life, among other things. So I did have these. There goes my screw. So I'm going to use this, that center drill to countersink my hole, because we want to recess that head to make sure we have clearance inside these clips for the PVC that's going to join. So there goes the center drill. I'm going to try to hold this in some kind of way here without using a vise. I need that to make contact with my base. That'll work. Alright. Bring it off of there. So that made a pretty clean hole. Alright, so far so good. Let me find my screw. My center drill. Alright, so we have nice clearance in there. I want some slop. Okay. Let's see if I can chuck this center drill up straight. Would be ideal. Alright. Now, you need to be holding this with something, because if it grabs, it will rip it right out of your hand and cut you. So we certainly don't want to do that. I'm just going to go slow and easy. And right there is probably far enough. Clean out those burrs. Okay. We'll see if this will still clip. I think that's going to work. Cool. Alright, so now I'm going to drill the rest of these and we'll get some lumber mounted in there. match my angle with the plastic. Give me my pocket knife off this table over here. The table saw. Yeah. You see my pocket knife?
This?
Yep.
Oh, don't cut yourself.
Well, I think I'm going to call that a success. I'll do an update video on this. We'll see a month from now. We'll see how it's still going. But for now, I think this is going to work pretty well. So hopefully this inspired somebody to come up with some idea on their own, or maybe replicate this, or give me some ideas down in the comments on how I can do it better. So I'm sure at some point it's going to require some modification or change overall. So, but yeah. So anyway, thanks for watching the video, and please subscribe and hit that like button, and if you want to get notifications when we upload, hit the bell. Thanks guys, take care.